A political push and pull over toll roads in Maryland. Good evening, this is CTV News. I'm Byron Scott. Well, elected officials and environmental advocates are calling for passage of a bill that would create oversight for statewide public-private transportation partnerships. The bill is in response to Governor Hogan's push to add additional toll lanes to the Capital Beltway and I-270. The governor says his plan would help ease congestion. Elected leaders from Prince George's and Montgomery counties say they've been left out of the discussion of where and how the lanes should be added.
We weren't included. I mean, how do you not include the General Assembly, where you have 188 members who represent every segment of this state and the two largest jurisdictions, Prince George and Montgomery County, and we were not included in any discussions about this. So I guess the question is, how does this get to Board of Public Works without coming to us when it impacts our citizens?
And the governor has said if enacted, his plan will be the largest public-private partnership in North America. Well, the Maryland State Senate passes landmark legislation that will pump hundreds of millions of additional dollars into the public school system statewide. The blueprint for Maryland's future adopts recommendations made by the Kerwin Commission. The bill calls for allocating $725 million through fiscal year 2022 and requires an additional $130 million if lawmakers identify a way to come up with the money. State Senator Paul Pinsky serves on the Kerwin Commission. He calls the move a down payment on the 10-year plan that would create a world-class school system in Maryland. The bill also calls for creation of an Office of Inspector General, which would investigate complaints of waste, fraud, and abuse in public schools. And school system financial management practices have come under scrutiny following the recent release of a state audit. The audit raising questions about the process for approving contracts. Specifically, the audit found that 13 sole source contracts worth $6.8 million were awarded without the required documents. Interim Schools Chief Monica Golson vows to address the issues.
Announced last week that we will be outsourcing our Office of Procurement so that we can get in an external vendor to come in and actually run that department, to then provide best practices and then assist us in helping to rehire, recruit new staff members for that department so that we can make sure that we are fiscally responsible with our taxpayers' monies and making the right decision for our students and our staff. I think it's important that we continue to focus on where we are in the Annapolis as it relates to Kerwin. We have an opportunity to receive additional funding that will help to support wraparound services in many of our schools that are in high concentrated areas of need. And so we have to just continue to remain engaged with our elected officials who are working extremely hard to make sure that we received the funding that we do need in order to begin to move Prince George's County forward.
And CTV caught up with Golson at the special tribute ceremony in Upper Marlboro. We'll have that story later on in the newscast. Well, an administrative review by Montgomery County Police finds the 2018 shooting and killing of an unarmed man was justified. The review found that Officer Anand Bagujar was in grave danger when he shot and killed 41-year-old Robert White in a Silver Spring parking lot. The body cam footage shows that the officer had a gun drawn as he attempted to stop White. The video also shows White running toward the officer who fired his weapon. The two fell to the ground before more shots were fired. The officer remains on the force. And the controversy enveloping the University of Maryland medical system continues to take a toll. A former lawmaker and two of his sons take a leave of absence from boards affiliated with the hospital system. Former State Senator Francis Kelly had already taken a leave from the UMS board. His sons, John and David Kelly, had joined him in the move. The Kelly's business, Kelly & Associates Insurance Group, has done about $16 million in business with the hospitals over the past several years. UMS has been under intense scrutiny since the Baltimore Sun reported that a third of its board members had lucrative contracts with the hospital system, including Baltimore Mayor Catherine Pugh, who has taken a leave of absence, citing health concerns.